Buongiorno.
Welcome to Rome. We're going to take you guys a little tour of Rome. We hit the Vatican City, the Colosseum, the Pantheon, and even some more like modern nightlife things to do. So be sure to like, subscribe, and
Don't go during the summer because we will never go in the August period, and you'll see why in today's video.
So we ended up taking a train from Milan to Rome, which was about 4 hours, but went by really quick. After we arrived and left the train station, we ended up walking a few miles to our Airbnb. We checked into our Airbnb, changed real quick, freshened up, and got a bite to eat right downstairs. We ended up ordering some bruschetta and then some delicious pizza with fresh prosciutto on top. So our Airbnb was literally a block away from the Trevi Fountain, so we had to walk by this mass crowd of people maybe 4 times a day. It was insane how many people were always gathered around the Trevi Fountain at all hours of the day. This is the site of Rome's oldest water source. The original architect actually died before completion in 1762. Trevi Fountain is named from the root word tre, meaning 3, and V meaning roads. This is where essentially the 3 main roads connect. Legend has it that if you throw in 1 coin, it means you will return to Rome. All the coins tossed in the fountain are donated to charity twice a month when the fountain is drained. One thing I really enjoyed about Rome was that you could be walking in the middle of a city and bump into literal ancient ruins. It was crazy to see that there was a mall right across the street from this. This here is the Largo de Tor, Argentina, where Julius Caesar was said to be murdered in 44 BC. After walking for about a half hour, we ran into Traste Square, which was our top favorite place to go in Rome almost every single night. It had live music, cheaper prices, and all of the people were pretty much natives to Rome. There wasn't too many tourists at all. We absolutely love the nightlife out here.
Sarà perché ti amo, è un'emozione che cresce piano piano, stringiti forte e stammi più vicino. Ma dimmi dove siamo, che te ne frega, sarà perché ti amo. Ora ti sto, sempre tirando fino e ora sempre in modo.
On our night walk, we also ran into the Piazza del Campo, which is the first modern square to ever be designed. It's midnight and it feels great out. So number one tip would be to sightsee and get to know the area at night, because today around what, noon?
11, yeah.
Yeah,
AM.
it hit 100 degrees and it was just way too hot to even walk around.
Thing from like noon to like 4 or 5 p.m. because there's nothing, not that there's nothing to do, but it was just way too hot. So yeah, we napped and then took a shower and went out for a walk, dinner, and now we're getting to sightsee, and I think it's 100% more worth it.
The streets are safe, it's clean, everything is pretty well lit.
Still a lot of people out too.
Yeah, there is a lot. You can't go to Rome without seeing the Colosseum. This is the scene of thousands of hand-to-hand combats between gladiators and even men and animals. This is the largest standing theater in the world despite its old age. This architecture was actually the design behind modern-day stadiums and arenas today. Before heading back to our Airbnb, we grabbed a little late-night snack of some chocolate gelato. We woke up the next day and decided to walk around and sightsee. This was one of the churches that we found. It was absolutely stunning. And then we walked quite a ways to the garden of Villa Borghese, which was absolutely beautiful. You could even rent a little boat and take it on the pond. We didn't decide to do it, but it was definitely an option. On our way back to our Airbnb, we stopped at La Fontana del Barcasia, which was right in front of the Spanish Steps, which is the longest staircase in all of Europe. The view was amazing. Then we saw the Pantheon, which is the most preserved monument of ancient Rome. Then it was time for a little chocolate gelato break. This place was by far our favorite. On our last full day in Rome, we booked a tour through the Vatican City, which was totally worth it. Vatican is a city-state surrounded by Rome. It is the headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church. The museum is home to a collection of 70,000 works, including different paintings and sculptures. We booked our tour that started at 8 a.m. with a ticket price of about $150 per person, but we ended up seeing the museum as well as St. Peter's Basilica, so it was definitely worth it. We learned about the ceiling in the Sistine Chapel, in this hallway specifically, was painted as a 3D look. So you can tell, in a second I'll zoom in a little bit better, you could see that it looks 3D, but that's actually just a painted effect. And this is the beautiful view of St. Peter's Basilica from a window in the Sistine Chapel.
All in all, we had a solid about 4 days in Rome, and I feel like we took advantage to the most of seeing everything, walking the entire city, seeing all the ruins, seeing the Colosseum, and of course, eating really good food, including pasta and pizza, and of course, topping it off with gelato. But it's time to come to our full breakdown of our finances through the heart of Rome. And this is going to include all of our from our train ride from Milan all the way to Rome, as well as our flight leaving Rome to go to Greece. So all in all, our total food was $300 for the 4 days. That included some really nice and fancy meals, and of course eating street food and testing out all the different gelatos through the nights of Rome, and crepes and all the other fantastic desserts. I don't think this is a terrible price point for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, all in all night for 2 people. That's not too terrible. Transportation, on the other hand, was around $557 because we had our flights was $280 from for the 2 of us to go from Rome to Greece. Also, the $240 from Milan on train to go to Rome. Entertainment wise, I only encompassed this $300 price tag. That was for the 2-person tour of the Vatican City. I would argue this is definitely a little bit more expensive. Probably has something to do because it's in August. I personally would never go back to Rome in August, and our tour guide said that when we first met them. They said, "Oh, this must be your first time in Italy or in Rome, because you probably won't come back in August." And I couldn't say that again. Like, that is the absolute truth. But all in all, definitely worth the price point to have a tour guide. You kind of have to. I don't really see any other way. And waiting in lines, it probably just really, really would not be worth it. And then finally, the hotel cost was $300 for 3-night stay, equating to about $100 a night. That was Airbnb in the heart of Rome, in a very good location in near the Trevi Fountain, which was, for the most part, really, really great. Which brings us to a grand total of $1,451 and a 4-night, 5-day spend in Rome. And I do want to say we did not budget this and just were kind of living in the moment type of feel. I feel like this could be well budgeted to probably way, way, way lower, under $1,000 mark pretty easily if you wanted to exclude a few certain things.